some noise for
Orange Juice in a Blunt.
Whoreson, the story of a ghetto pimp. A pinch. You know what I mean. These parties, prostitutes, you not working? How long, Whoreson, do you really think you can last? Noticeable as your Cadillac is, successful as pimping might be, you still don't have any solid foundation under you. It finally occurred to me that she was serious. Probably this was her way of letting me know that she would be available if I would give up the game. Naturally, I had no intention of ever giving up the game, but I didn't want to hurt her feelings. "Listen, sugar," I said softly, "name me one good job that I could get. Don't think about the caddy that I drive, or the diamonds that I wear, nor the silk suits that I look so good in. Just forget about those things and name me a decent job that I could get." She bit down on her lip for a moment. "Well," she began, "you probably have to go back to school for a while." She hesitated to see if I was taking this seriously before continuing. "Then after you graduated, you could—" She finished in a rush. "Get all kinds of jobs." "Be a little more precise, baby," I inquired of her, jokingly. She frowned and became very nervous. "Well, let me see," she said quietly. "You could, become a policeman." I laughed harshly. "At what police department, honey? One in China?" No, Whoreson, it's the truth. I ain't joking. My mother read it in the papers this morning. She said they're hiring colored men for all kinds of jobs on the force now." Instead of being amused by her behavior, I was ashamed of myself. I realized that she was so innocent, she believed I might give up my precious possessions for love. "Whoreson," she said, her face shining with sincerity, "there are many girls who would marry you and not care if you didn't make a whole lot of money at work. They wouldn't care if you had to sweep floors, wash cars, anything. Just as long as you were theirs, it wouldn't make any difference what you did." She was looking at me with so much tender love in her eyes that I tried to joke her out of the mood. "You can easily say that, Janet," I said, "but I ain't seen none of these girls you keep talking about." Her eyes had tears in them as she stared up at me. "Just look at me, Whoreson," she said. "I'd gladly be your wife, but never your whore." After quite a circular route, there it was, out in the open. I had tried to keep the naked truth of her feelings from coming to light, but now the cards had been spread on the table, face up. She seemed so lovely, sitting beside me, that the thought of losing her was like taking a liquid bath with loneliness. I knew that my answer would hurt her. Even while I wanted to spare her pain, my customary glibness vanished. To me, the sound of my voice was harsh and sharp. "Janet, I wouldn't be a flunky to the white man for you or the Virgin Mary. Car washing, truck driving, or working in some honky's factory is out of the question for me." "Wait," I said, and grabbed her arm to prevent her from leaving. "If my mother had left me enough money to set up a business or something, things would have been different. But since this didn't happen, the only way I can get big money without selling drugs is to manage sporting ladies." She listened to my raving until I was finished, then removed my hand from her arm. "Goodbye, Whoreson," she said bitterly. "Again, I wish you all the happiness in the world." Instead of following her, I watched her walk quickly to the door and leave. If there was one thing I disliked, it was to watch a woman cry, and I knew she was crying. Trying to maintain my air of composure, I turned and examined the crowded room. Boots dropped down in the vacant seat. She patted me on the cheek. "Don't worry, Daddy. You miss one shot, you get another," she added. "While you was talking to Janet, that light-skinned girl over there asked me if I'd mind having her for a wife-in-law." Coppin' was just that simple. My fourth girl came to me just like that. I stared at her without too much interest. Boots' sharp remark brought me back out of the clouds. "What you looking so mournful about, Whoreson? I know it ain't over that skinny-ass Janet, but all she could do is sing to the tricks, 'cause she ain't got enough ass to stand no heavy pounding." I whirled around to give her a chilling rebuke, but her eyes were deadly cold, unflinching. Her voice dripped with venom when she spoke. "Whores go with pimps, Whoreson. Barbers go with manicurists, and square bitches go with square niggas." She pivoted on her heels and walked across the crowded floor. Her back was straight, her head held high. With the coming of summer, my stable of whores stayed anywhere between 6 and a dozen good prostitutes. Pimpin' was good, and my bankroll continued to swell. At times I would hear reports about Janet singing at different places, but I made it a point not to go anywhere that I might run into her. For some reason, she stayed in my mind, no matter how many different women I slept with. As the summer wore on and my stable grew, I tossed myself into one party after another and started trying to teach myself to take the bitter with the sweet.